everyone, welcome to my channel. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jasmine. I would love it if you go ahead and you subscribe to my channel. As y'all can tell from the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about some things that you should know before getting into that interracial relationship that you are considering. I myself, I'm in an interracial relationship. It's definitely not the first white person that I've dated. Yeah, that I've dated, because I never married anyone else. I was going to say married, but I never married anybody else. So if you guys come from my family channel, then you know about my husband, you've seen my kids, you know all that jazz. So I am truly making this video because I really want to help other people out there who are maybe in an interracial relationship right now, or who are considering being in an interracial relationship. We're going to get right into the video. Now, first and foremost, I want to say that obviously race does not matter when you are dating someone, when you are marrying someone, when you are becoming friends with someone, or you want to be friends with someone, you want to marry someone, you want to be in a relationship with someone. It doesn't matter, period. Race should never be a key reason as to why you are with someone. It should never be a reason why you're not with someone. Race does not matter. No matter how many times people try to make it seem like race matter, race does not matter. We all bleed the same. My grandma will always tell us that, okay? We all bleed the same at the end of the day. So let's just get that out of the way. Unfortunately, the world that we live in, people don't see it this way. Obviously, if people didn't see it this way, we wouldn't have had slavery. All of the other things that's happened in this world that should have never happened would have never happened if people didn't see race as being this dramatic thing that really isn't. So the things I feel like that you should know, and these are not all of the things, these are just some things that I feel like, you know, every person who is in an interracial relationship or going into an interracial relationship should know. First, you have to understand that even if your spouse likes you, loves you, wants to be with you, that's not going to change how their family feel about your color and your race, because your spouse cannot control how his family thinks of you and how they view you. He only knows how he feels, or she only knows how she feels. She can only control her feelings for how she feels for you, and not letting race be a factoring point in you guys' relationship. That doesn't mean that that's how his family or her family is gonna feel about you. So first of all, let's get that taken care of. Even though this person that you're trying to be in an interracial relationship with, or maybe you're in an interracial relationship with, they may like you, they may love you, they may want to be with you, they may not see race, but that doesn't mean that their family doesn't. Unfortunately, that is the reality of interracial dating. Just keep that in mind. They may like you, they may love you, they may want to be with you, doesn't mean that their family feels the same way about you. Unfortunately. Number two, never go into an interracial relationship saying race doesn't matter. Race just doesn't matter. Now, I said it in the beginning that race shouldn't play a factor. It doesn't matter a person's color. You should love who you love, which is absolutely true. But you also have to acknowledge the fact that you are black, the fact that the other person is white, Puerto Rican, Asian. You gotta acknowledge the fact that you guys come from two different backgrounds, two different race. You gotta acknowledge that. So don't completely go into the relationship saying, okay, you're white, I'm black, you're Asian, I'm black, or Mexican, or whatever the case may be. I'm just not looking at your race, period, point blank, period. Don't do that. It is important to acknowledge the fact that you guys are two different races. And it's because of your two different races what makes you guys beautiful and what is bringing you guys together. Two different races coming together, I feel like it's one of the most beautiful things in this world, because you're really showcasing that, you know, you're not going after someone's color. You don't care about what someone looks like on the outside, the color of their skin. You're really going after that person's heart. I think it's one of the most beautiful things in this world, interracial relationships. So though race don't matter, like I said, you also have to acknowledge the fact that you guys are different races, because what will happen is when you go into that relationship and you're like, oh, you know, you're black, I'm white, and I don't care, you know, I don't care about your race, you're setting yourself up for failure. Race doesn't matter, but you have to acknowledge the fact that you guys are different races and you come from different backgrounds and you are two completely different people coming together. You have to acknowledge that. And honestly, that is in any race. While if you're two white people coming together, two black people coming together, you still have to realize that you guys are two different people, period. You have to understand that when you are going into an interracial relationship, it's not going to be like black person dating a black person, or a white person dating a white person, a Mexican person dating a Mexican person. You have to acknowledge the fact that you guys do come from different races. You are going to get stares. You are going to, in many cases, then not in a lot of interracial couples don't like to talk about this, and we need to start talking about this. You need to acknowledge and you need to understand that your relationship is something that you're going to have to fight for, because not everybody is going to agree with the fact that you're in an interracial relationship. We still do have a bunch of racist people in this world. You have to be willing to educate yourself on the person that you are dating or the person you're going into a relationship with. You got to educate yourself on their background and be ready to fight. For instance, say you have a white spouse that doesn't know much about the issues that black people face, right? Which is true. They're not black. They don't know what issues that black people face, just like we don't know what kind of things that white people go through, right? You have to educate yourself on those things and be willing to listen, be willing to be understanding, because if you're not willing to be understanding, you're not willing to listen, you're not willing to learn, then you're going to make it difficult on that relationship. Okay, because it's one thing when you're dating somebody who is in the same race as you both understand what it's like to be white, what it's like to be black. But when you're going into an interracial relationship, is a whole nother ball game. You have to learn each other. It's not just something you can hop into and say, oh, I'm dating this person and they're black, I don't really care about their skin color. Yes, you may not care about their skin color, but you also have to understand what comes with that person and what that person may go through. You have to understand, if your spouse is Asian, what does your spouse go through being the fact that they're Asian? If they're Mexican, what is it that they're going through that they're Mexican? You have to be willing to educate yourself on your spouse or on your partner's background and be willing to fight for them no matter what, because this world has no mercy on nobody. So basically what I'm trying to say is just understanding the cultural differences. Understand that there will definitely be cultural differences, and educate yourself on that. Don't just hop in and say, oh, you're black, I don't really care about the fact that you're black, which is true. You don't care about the fact that the person is black, because you shouldn't be looking at nobody's color anyways. At the end of the day, we're all just people, right? But you also have to take into consideration that you guys are two different cultures coming together. You guys take in the cultural differences. Number 3, I see this one very, very often. So many times I see people who get into interracial relationships and they completely lose themselves, okay? Maybe this is their first interracial relationship. They completely change. I'm talking about their hair, the way they talk, the way they do things, the way they do life. They feel like they got to completely change themselves to fit into, their partner's background. Yo, never do that. I cannot stress that enough. Please don't lose yourself because you're dating somebody outside of your race. I'm begging you guys right now, please don't lose yourself because you're dating somebody outside of your race. Honey, if you talk a certain way, if you're African, be African. If you're Mexican, be Mexican. If you're Asian, be Asian. Whoever you are, wherever you come from in the world, okay? Be that. Don't let anything change you because you're dating somebody outside of your race. Don't try to fit into that other person's race, because many times people are doing this to try to fit in so the family can like them more. You guys, I've seen some interracial relationships, you guys, where people will literally give up their entire heritage, their entire culture for the other person's culture. Okay, so for instance, let's say you have a black person dating an Asian person. Sometimes what you see is that black person will literally abandon their black roots to fit into that Asian person's culture, just so maybe that Asian person's family can like them more, they can feel more welcome into that family. And let me tell you, that is the worst thing you want to do. If I can give anybody advice right now, if you're wanting to be in an interracial relationship, or maybe you're in an interracial relationship, please don't lose yourself. Please don't give up your culture. Please don't give up who you are just to try to fit in to that person's culture. For one, that person obviously know who you are. They know your background. If you're Asian, they know you're Asian. If you're black, they know you're black. They obviously have accepted you. So you have to be willing to accept yourself. Don't feel like you got to change yourself to fit into that person's culture, or maybe to make the person's family like you more, or maybe even their friends, to make their friends like you more, changing how you talk, how you dress, all this stuff just to fit in. Don't do that. Be who you are, okay? And if people don't like you, they won't like you, period. And if people like you, they'll like you. But don't change who you are just to fit into somebody else's culture, somebody else's way of life. Keep in mind, you're in an interracial relationship. What makes you guys beautiful is the fact that two different cultures are coming together as one. That is absolutely beautiful. That is what to me, that is what a true interracial relationship consists of. Two people coming together who are willing to learn each other, who are willing to learn about each other's backgrounds, who are accepting one another, okay? That is what a true interracial relationship is. You're being involved in one another's culture and you're making this beautiful story. You're creating this beautiful story. So just keep that in mind. Please don't lose yourself. How you talk, that's beautiful. What your hair looks like, that's beautiful. How you do your makeup, what shoes you wear, the type of tuxedo you like to wear. You like to wear your hair, your hats backwards, whatever it is that is about you. Please stay true to yourself. Don't lose yourself just because you're dating someone who is outside of your race. Don't feel like you need to downplay your own culture. You need to talk bad about your own culture just to fit in to your partner's culture. I see this too many times, okay? You don't have to do that, you guys. And if your spouse or the person you're with cannot accept who you are, cannot accept your culture, then that's just not the person for you. You shouldn't have to go changing who you are just to make someone like you. Just think about that. You having to change yourself just to make someone like you or to make someone's family and friends like you. That's crazy. Please don't do that, you guys. The right people will love you. They will like you for who you are. Period. Point blank. Period. Okay? One thing that I've been told from a lot of people, close friends and family members, and sometimes just the outside world, that what people really admire about me is the fact that I've always stayed true to myself. Yes, my husband is white. You guys, I am black, I am Liberian, I'm African, and that's never going to change. Y'all see here, I always talking in my colloquial. Y'all see here that I'm always wearing my African attire. I'm not afraid to be who I am because that's who I am. Doesn't matter who I'm with. I just want more people who are going into interracial relationships who are already in interracial relationships to really understand that they don't have to change who they are just because of the person that they're with. And honestly, just realize that not everybody is going to like you. Even if you're in a relationship with the same race, not everybody is going to like you. Just understand that, and that's okay. Is it sad that we live in the world, especially in this day and time, where people are still focusing so heavily on race and caring so much about the fact that a person is white, a person is Asian, Mexican? Is it sad? Absolutely. Is it sad that racism even happened in the first place to have people thinking the way that they do? Absolutely. But can we change that? We can try. Just understand that you're already doing your part. Just the fact that you're in an interracial relationship, you're doing your part. Not saying that's the only part you play because you're in an interracial relationship. But what I am saying is now you have this opportunity to be with someone from a different background and really showcase just how much race doesn't matter to the world, to people around you, that truly, truly, truly you can love whoever you want to love.
You love who you love, who you love.
And race does not play a factor and should not play a factor, because at the end of the day, we're all people. You're playing your part, and please play your part well. Now, not saying that you should go into an interracial relationship thinking that the person that you're going to be with or want to be with, their family and friends, are just going to hate you because of your culture, your way of life. I'm not saying you should go into that thinking that way. In my personal situation, that was what I went through. I went through the stage of not being liked because of my skin color, because of where I come from. That's not going to be the scenario for everybody, but I think it's super important that when you're going into an interracial relationship, that you consider that that's a possibility, that's something that could possibly happen to you, and that you got to be prepared for that. And if that doesn't happen to you, then that is wonderful, you guys. That's how it should be. Being accepted by the person that you love, their friends and family. That's what it's all about. You should be accepted. You should not be declined because of the color of your skin. But I want you guys to understand that is definitely a possibility, and to be prepared if that does happen. Moving on. Don't go into an interracial relationship because of sex. I know so many times there's this fetish that some people may have about, you know, dating interracially. For instance, there's this thing where black girls are freakier than white girls, or Asian girls are more submissive, or, you know, does a black man has a bigger you know what than a, you know, white male. Do not go into an interracial relationship with that thought process, because that is just not realistic, and obviously that is not love. Let me tell you guys, these type of things only just promote more of these stereotypes, because that's honestly what it is. Okay, just because a person is black doesn't mean, you know, they like spicy food. Like, that's just promoting all of these stereotypes that's already out there in the world. So do not go into an interracial relationship thinking this way, just going off of everything because of sex. Although sex is important in a relationship, you guys, is important in any relationship, regardless if it's interracial relationships or not, is important. But truly, you guys, truly speaking, sex should not be the reason for your motivation of wanting to get into a committed relationship with somebody outside of your race, or someone even inside of your race for that matter. So the next one I want to cover is children. You're in an interracial relationship and you end up having children. Obviously these kids are now biracial, interracial, multiracial, whatever you want to call it. They are not just one race. So please do not raise your children as just one particular race. I see this one happening all the time. Once again, it goes back to the other thing where I was talking about people, you know, completely abandoning where they come from just to fit in to, you know, their spouse's culture. Please don't do that with your children. Please don't raise your children where they only believe that they are just one particular race, when matter of fact that is not the truth. They are two races, or like I said, maybe they're multiracial, whatever the case may be, but they're definitely not just one, and they should not be raised as just one. Your children should know both of your cultures, both of your backgrounds, and they should be raised as that. If you don't know much about your background and where you come from, that is where Google comes in, and you educate yourself so that you can bring your kids up in this world so they can know where they come from, which is going to be really beneficial to their future when they are older. Because once they are older, they're getting out there into the real world. People are not going to have mercy upon them. They're going to get those stares. They're going to get those questions from their peers. What are you mixed with? They're going to get that, you guys. They're going to get those questions, and you don't want your kids to be out there into the world believing that they're only one race when they're matter in fact two. Honestly, when you raise your kids just as one race and you forget about your race or your partner's race, you're doing your kids a disservice, you guys. You're hindering their growth as people, as human beings. It is not fair for interracial children or multiracial children to only know one side of their background and not know the other one. Is just not fair. So if you don't know much about where you come from, educate yourself so that you can be able to educate your children so that they can know where they come from, which will be so beneficial to them in the long run. And trust me, they're going to thank you later. Now, I will get more into raising interracial children, multiracial children in a whole nother video, but I think it's super important if you're going into an interracial relationship to keep those things in mind, because kids can honestly possibly come out of your interracial relationship. If you definitely want a family one day, then you know for sure, you know, obviously kids are going to be coming out of that, so you want to make sure that you are prepared. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you go ahead and you give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and you click that subscribe button. After clicking that subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and you turn on your notification, because that's going to notify you of whenever I post a new video. You don't want to miss out on these videos, you guys, because I have tons of videos coming out for you guys. So stay tuned, keep on watching, subscribe to the channel. Once again, join me on this journey. I'm so excited to share so much fun stuff with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.